Did you know that on this day in 1901, Queen Victoria's funeral took place at Windsor Castle? In this video, I'm going to take a quick look at the event of the century and all of the drama. So, born on the 24th of May 1819, Victoria was Britain's longest ruling monarch. She was in post for 64 years, of which 40 was spent in mourning for her late husband and cousin, Prince Albert. This is probably why you know her as being a sad lady dressed all in black, and she was quite selfish with her mourning. When her son, Prince Edward, married Alexandra of Denmark, she sat in between them both in mourning clothes, looking at a bust of her dead husband in their wedding picture. Anyway, Queen Victoria died of a stroke at the age of 81 at 6:30 p.m. on the 22nd of January 1901 at her Isle of Wight home. Things became a little chaotic in the royal household, with the Viscount Esher, Reginald Brett writing, "The ignorance of historical precedent in men whose business it is to know is wonderful." People wildly Googling what to do when the Queen dies and trying to find a really old person to tell them what King William IV's funeral looked like in 1837. Ultimately, it was her son, Edward VII, who succeeded her, and Victoria had left strict instructions for her funeral, which was lucky considering. She wanted her funeral to be white with a full military service and no public lying in state, which is what we did for Queen Elizabeth II when she died and we had the infamous queue. Victoria asked to be buried in her wedding veil and a white dress. She had a super long list of things that she wanted to be buried with, including a lot of handkerchiefs that belonged to different people, Prince Albert's dressing gown, and a plaster cast of his hand, which is cute or creepy depending on how you look at it. I'm going to choose cute. Victoria didn't want to be embalmed, which set quite the clock on her burial, and was probably why everyone was so upset when the undertaker turned up with a tape measure to take her measurements, rather than an actual coffin as everyone had expected he would. Her grandson, Kaiser Wilhelm, insisted on taking the Queen's measurements himself with the help of two others because he didn't want the undertaker to touch her. On the 1st of February, the HMY Alberta carried Queen Victoria's coffin from the Isle of Wight to Gosport, where she was transported by train to London. On the 2nd of February, the rain was pouring. See, even God was crying at her passing. Hotels on the route sold out as people paid top dollar to rent balcony space to watch the procession. 1,000 people were injured in the rush to see the Queen's final journey. Her coffin was carried 3 miles by gun carriage, pulled by white horses, from Victoria Station to Paddington. Upon arrival in Windsor, the procession began their journey to St. George's Chapel for the service, but the horses pulling the gun carriage broke free and ran away. Luckily, Prince Louis of Battenberg, who was Prince Philip's granddad, had the idea that 138 naval guards could just pull it instead. To save face, we have now made that a royal tradition, but it was pretty embarrassing at the time. Once they finally got to the chapel, the rest of the funeral ran pretty smoothly. They played music, they sang songs, they said a lot of nice things about a person who wasn't especially nice, all of the things that you usually do. And Victoria was laid to rest beside her beloved Albert at the Royal Mausoleum on the 3rd of February 1901. Honestly, I adore the drama. 5-star funeral in my opinion, would have absolutely attended. Thank you so much for watching. Why not subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.